She alleges Diddy's son, King, became obsessed with her while she worked as a stewardess. She claims the yacht job had been advertised as family-friendly. She goes on to claim that while working, King pressured her to take a shot, which she suspected was spiked. She then alleges that King cornered her and tried to force her to give him a but she fought him off.
Oh, Frosty!
Yeah. Fucking Friday edition. But this is the way we drink our Deleon tequila. Frosty, we get it ice cold. We go and put it in, you know, stack that in there. Ice cold. This is Frosty right here. Keep this thing ice cold right there. Orange slices, that's how we do our shots. Yeah. Ooh. And we not telling y'all to drink, we just celebrating life. You know what I'm saying?
And it's fucking Friday.
And it's fucking Friday.
Grab
you know what I'm saying?
orange.
Drink responsibly. Cheers.
Cheers.
With an orange though, you know what I'm saying? Fuck a lemon, fuck a lime. Deleon tequila, we do ours with oranges.
Sersky.
Yeah. Owned by a black man.
My black man.
My black, your daddy.
I love you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Love you.
Love you.
Oh.
In a stunning twist that has sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, the 12-year-old victim at the center of a high-profile case has finally broken their silence, and the revelations could spell the end for Diddy's son. This brave individual has shared their harrowing story, exposing connections and actions that were once thought to be hidden forever. But what really happened? How does Diddy's son fit into this controversy? And what does this mean for the legacy of one of music's most powerful families? In today's video, we'll dive into the victim's allegations, uncover how Diddy's son is implicated, and explore the fallout that has left fans, critics, and the media divided. Could these allegations lead to legal consequences? Will this revelation finally pull back the curtain on Hollywood's most guarded secrets? And how will the Combs family move forward in the face of this explosive scandal? Stay with us as we break down every shocking detail piece by piece and explore the implications of this bombshell revelation. You won't want to miss a single moment of this story. It's one that could change everything for Diddy, his son, and the industry as a whole.
We've got some breaking news to get to. A civil lawsuit has been filed against Jay-Z, saying the rapper raped a 13-year-old girl back in 2000. The suit alleges that Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, raped the girl after the Video Music Awards alongside Sean Diddy Combs. The victim says she was invited to an after party after being spotted by a limo driver and was then assaulted by both rappers. Jay-Z is calling this a blackmail attempt. He released a statement on social media responding to the lawsuit, and Texas attorney behind the legal action saying in part, these allegations are so heinous in nature, you have made a terrible error in judgment, thinking that all celebrities are the same. I look forward to showing you just how different I am.
Great to see you as always. Today was a little bit different in that I got to the courthouse got inside the courthouse, I should say, about 15 minutes before 1 p.m. That shows you how early I was in there. And I was actually surprised to see less amount of journalists. They were kind of waiting for this hearing to get started. And so, comparing that to last hearing where it was just a ton of journalists just waiting to get inside that courtroom, this time was completely different in that it was probably about less than 20 journalists altogether. So when we were all kind of ushered up into the 15th floor this time as opposed to the top floor like the last hearing, it was a lot smaller courtroom, but still the similar makeup of the courtroom. So you have one side where it's going to be Diddy's family members, it's going to be the general public, maybe some extra defense lawyers or those who work for the defense side at least, kind of sitting over to the left side, and then on the right side where I was sitting, it's going to be all flooded with journalists as well as some other members of the prosecution team who would kind of help with that case as well too.
The 12-year-old victim speaks, a turning point. The shocking allegations against Diddy and his son come from a 12-year-old victim who claims to have suffered unspeakable abuse. The victim's story, which includes specific details about encounters with Diddy's son, paints a harrowing picture of manipulation, coercion, and betrayal. The claims suggest not only a pattern of predatory behavior, but also a broader culture of silence and complicity surrounding the accused.
Diddy's sons, Justin and Christian, weren't inside the courtroom just yet, but instead, whenever they came inside the courtroom, and again, this was after Diddy Diddy was already sitting down at the defense table, he looked back immediately. He smiled. He beamed up. He waved at at his two sons and just kind of gave them like kind of a little bit of, it's a good to see you type of feeling. That's what I was gathering from inside that courtroom. Now, again, I want to remind our viewers that when we're inside federal court, again, there's no cameras, which, Jesse, I'm sure you have already mentioned that part. But, even for us journalists, with the exception of some who get a special permission of that, now when Christian and Justin came inside that courtroom, they were actually sitting just right across from me over on the left side of the gallery. So what I was seeing from both of his sons was a little bit of leg shaking, what I perceived to be a little prayer right before the hearing had actually started as well too. But again, I think their focus was maintaining a good face for their father, being supportive of their father, which you expect at this point because they've attended pretty much all of the hearings so far, with the exception of that emergency hearing that happened, I believe, back in October now, inside that courtroom, that there was a lot of like chumminess going on. There was a lot of laughs, a little bit of giggles coming from Mark Agnifilo talking with the prosecutors right before the hearing had started. So they seemed, you wouldn't think that they're in this kind of, fiery battle or anything about the case. They seem pretty chummy. They seem very cordial. And they both sides seem to have respected each other in terms of turning over that evidence, making sure that every deadline is hit and that type of sort. Now, there was a pending motion that the judge did bring up that, at the time, Judge Submaranian did mention that he wanted to keep, he was possibly thinking about denying that motion, but instead what he did was the defense time, a lot of music kind of going on here in the background. But what the defense says is that their preference was to keep that motion open, so that way, the judge wouldn't dismiss it with a little bit of prejudice, which means that they could have refiled the motion. But, that didn't happen. The defense kind of appeared that they just wanted the motion to stay open, see what would happen with all of that. But, it seems like we will not be seeing any bit of Diddy until March when the next hearing is going. But
the victim's decision to come forward after so many years was reportedly spurred by recent high-profile cases that have empowered survivors to share their truth. Despite the weight of societal pressures and the stigma surrounding such accusations, the victim's courage has reignited discussions about abuse and power in the entertainment industry. Their story is a stark reminder of the emotional and physical toll these experiences can take over time. Sharing such traumatic experiences is never easy, especially when powerful individuals are involved. The victim's bravery has struck a chord with the public, sparking outrage and sympathy. Their courage is inspiring others to reevaluate their own silence, potentially paving the way for a larger reckoning.
What makes you confident, bro?
Confidence. That's what it is.
Self-love. This outfit screams confidence.
Thank you.
Of course.
The allegations suggest that Diddy's son was either complicit in or directly involved in certain incidents, further tarnishing the Combs family's public image. The details of his alleged role remain under scrutiny, but the victim's account has left little room for ambiguity. Diddy's son's alleged involvement, what we know. Diddy's son faces allegations of enabling or participating in the wrongdoing described by the victim. Reports indicate that he was present during several key incidents and may have acted as a facilitator. The accusations not only implicate him, but also raise questions about the culture surrounding the Combs family's inner circle. While Diddy's son has not been formally charged, his alleged involvement casts a shadow over his public persona. The accusation suggests that he was more than a bystander, playing an active role in perpetuating the harm. Whether by action or omission, his alleged complicity is a central element of the case.
And this is a man going from private chefs and food from across the world to a set menu just like any other detainee or inmate. What can you tell us about the food and the commissary in a place like the Federal Detention Center in Brooklyn?
It's a difference. That much I can tell you. You're going to have a lot of starchy food, cereals. If you get any vegetables at all, they're old, so to speak. They are not fresh. Same fruits and vegetables, no good. A lot of processed food, some rice and beans and muffins and things that generally most people don't like to eat. It's not terribly healthy. And again, the government would say that is a consequence of this process. So certainly it is an adjustment. Most people will lose weight, and it's hard because he can't even really exercise in this environment. There's no outdoor, like I've said before, it's not one of these camps where you can walk around a track. Even in a high security penitentiary like Atlanta, there's going to be a track and outdoors. When you're in a detention center, locked down 23 hours a day, not eating healthy foods or getting your medications, it could test even the strongest person.
And like I had mentioned before, I'm sure Diddy and his defense attorney were both left stunned, knowing that he'll now have to prepare for his trial behind bars as he wasn't given bail. What can you tell us about a high-profile celebrity like Diddy now having to prep for trial in a federal detention center?
I think it was the philosopher George Santayana that said, those who don't understand history are doomed to repeat it. So we have these high-profile celebrities, Elizabeth Holmes, Sam Bankman-Fried, Robert Menendez, who was convicted at trial, tried to blame the conviction or the conduct on his sick wife. So we have those who have come before us who continue to go down this path of blaming and excusing, never identifying with victims, or at least acknowledging they could have done anything wrong. And I would say, if that's what you want to do, cool. Own it and understand the consequences that follow. So there are probably enablers, lawyers, friends, and family telling him what he wants to hear at great expense. Though if convicted, he's the one that has to serve that lengthy federal prison sentence. He's the one that will endure that pain and regret of not having made better decisions, including decisions he could make right now.
This is not the first time Diddy's son has been linked to controversy. Past rumors of reckless behavior, excessive partying, and questionable associations lend credibility to the victim's claims. These patterns suggest a history of crossing ethical boundaries, further complicating his defense. If the allegations hold up in court, Diddy's son could face severe legal repercussions. From potential jail time to social ostracization, the fallout is likely to be significant. This scandal has already damaged his reputation, and the legal process could solidify his downfall. The fallout within the Combs family. The allegations have reportedly caused deep fractures within the Combs family. Sources suggest that tensions are high as they navigate the public scrutiny. Diddy, known for his control over his brand and family image, is said to be grappling with the potential damage to his legacy. Thus far, Diddy and his son have remained largely silent, opting to address the allegations through legal representatives. This silence has fueled speculation about their guilt, with many criticizing the lack of accountability. On the other hand, some family members have reportedly offered private support to Diddy's son, though these claims remain unverified.
We've been able to speak to your son.
What did you say to him when you visited him in court? Is he doing... How are you feeling today?
Well, this is an excellent time now to bring on prison consultant Justin Paperny. Justin, thanks for being here. As you know, Diddy was kept behind bars after his arrest this week, and a judge denied him bail. In your opinion, how do you think he's adjusting to life in a federal detention center right now?
If Sean Combs is focusing on things he cannot control, he will have a miserable experience. When he can call home, when he can visit, the living conditions, exercising maybe an hour a day, showering a few hours a week. If he fixates on that, it is going to be miserable, and every day will feel like a year. On the other hand, if he can learn from those who have come before him and master the experience, my business partner served 26 consecutive years for a nonviolent crime, including 8 years in the penitentiary. He never complained. He focused on his family, trying to prove worthy of the love and support of his family. If he can do that, the experience, it won't be easy. I'm not insane. It will be more bearable. The choice is up to him.
And as far as we know right now, he has been kept in solitary confinement, or the SHU right now, and he's been on suicide watch.
This scandal threatens to derail the Combs family's carefully curated legacy. Diddy's empire, built on decades of music, business, and cultural influence, now faces a reckoning. For his children, the allegations create an indelible stain that may affect their personal and professional lives for years to come.
This morning, embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs will remain behind bars on charges that include sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, after a second judge overseeing his federal criminal case denied him bond once again.
The fight continues. We're not giving up by a long shot.
Outside the New York City courthouse, his lawyer defiant.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
The judge ruling the bail package presented by Combs' lawyer was insufficient, siding with prosecutors who called Combs a threat to society, adding there is no condition that would assure that the rapper would not obstruct justice. A major topic of discussion ahead of the ruling, this troubled 2016 video that shows Combs brutally beating his then-girlfriend, singer Cassie. who prosecutors say was attempting to escape from one of Combs' so-called freak-offs, elaborated coerced sex parties that he often recorded.
Public reactions from family allies remain mixed. Some have distanced themselves from the controversy, while others have chosen to stand by Diddy's son, citing loyalty. These divisions only highlight the strain this scandal has placed on the family. Public and media reactions. A scandal unfolds. The public has reacted strongly to the allegations, with hashtags trending across social media platforms. Fans and critics alike are calling for accountability, demanding answers from Diddy and his son. Some have rallied behind the victim, while others remain skeptical of the claims. The allegations have created a polarizing effect. While many are quick to condemn Diddy's son, a vocal minority defends him, citing the lack of formal charges or definitive proof. This divide underscores the complexities of public opinion in high-profile cases.
What's going on, Jamie?
I don't know. There's a lot going on. A lot of rumors are flying.
The rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein type deal where he was filming everybody, right?
That's the rumors. Yeah, I don't know that there's any proof of anything.
Dude, when Homeland Security invades your house,
you got problems
with dudes with guns and body armor.
Someone said that they weren't there to take stuff. They were there to delete everything. Like the real people that were in there, you know.
Oh,
like
that's funny.
With Epstein.
Oh, that's funny.
If Sean Combs is focusing on things he cannot control, he will have a miserable experience. When he can call home, when he can visit, the living conditions, exercising maybe an hour a day, showering a few hours a week. If he fixates on that, it is going to be miserable, and every day will feel like a year. On the other hand, if he can learn from those who have come before him and master the experience. My business partner served 26 consecutive years for a nonviolent crime, including 8 years in the penitentiary. He never complained. He focused on his family, trying to prove worthy of the love and support of his family. If he can do that, the experience, it won't be easy. I'm not insane. It will be more bearable. The choice is up to him.
And as far as we know right now, he has been kept in solitary confinement, or the SHU right now, and he's been on suicide watch. How different is that experience from being in the general population?
It's much harder. If you like to be around people, you like communication, if you're an extrovert, and then suddenly you are isolated 23 hours a day on total lockdown, I'm not spinning that it's difficult. It will test the strongest mind. But he has to understand others have gone through it and emerged successfully. And what he and his lawyers have to understand is they have like a messaging problem. They continue to say things that do not get them closer to what they want, which is bond. It's led to indictments. And if he can begin to introspect and kind of reverse engineer some of his choices and recognize it is my decisions alone that have led me here. And if I can communicate differently moving forward, maybe the ultimate sentence, even if convicted, could be better, perhaps could lead to bond eventually. But it can be very difficult in segregation. And his lawyers have to stop blaming and excusing and talking about how difficult the experience is, because here's what a judge is going to say. If you were so concerned about what these filthy living conditions would be like in a detention center, if you were so concerned about your safety, you wouldn't have obstructed justice. You would not have, according to the government, created victims over a sustained period of time. Until he changes his message, more problems are going to follow.
And Diddy allegedly has been accused of using different drugs in the past. Even prosecutors have said on the night he was arrested that there was allegedly pink cocaine in his hotel room.
Major outlets and tabloids have seized on the story, amplifying its impact. From in-depth analyses to sensationalized headlines, the media has played a key role in shaping the narrative. Their coverage has ensured that the scandal remains in the public eye, intensifying pressure on the Combs family. Beyond the immediate fallout, this case has sparked broader discussions about accountability in Hollywood. The allegations highlight systemic issues of power and abuse, forcing the public to confront uncomfortable truths about the entertainment industry. Legal ramifications, a case with consequences. The victim's testimony could serve as a cornerstone for prosecutors, potentially leading to formal charges. Additional evidence, such as communications, financial records, or corroborating witnesses, may further strengthen the case.
Hey, I'm Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. Want to show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us, like literally in the last 90 seconds. This is Combs in court after prosecutors arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to what a person familiar with the move tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. as we're just getting in some new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him in what looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their words, freak-offs that Combs supposedly orchestrated to abuse his victims.
For Diddy, the allegations against his son add to an already long list of legal and public relations challenges. While he has not been directly accused in this case, the association alone could have significant implications for his empire. Legal experts suggest that prosecutors may focus on building a broader narrative of complicity and enabling behavior within the Combs family. This strategy could lead to more charges or a larger investigation into Diddy's inner circle.
Joining me now, Brian Claypool, a criminal defense attorney. So, Brian, what Matt was just talking about, these so-called freak-offs, these were no secret. So he'd been openly bragging about these wild parties. You know, there's like sex parties, and it looks like, you know, there were probably lots of other things going on there too. But he was bragging about this for, what, a couple of decades. Watch.
This is what you need to do. Women, beautiful women. We need alcohols.
Right.
Alcohols.
Right. Not just one alcohol.
Alcohols.
Right, just
Plurals.
different blend. You need the ladies, you need the booze. Right.
Gotta keep them there.
Right.
You need locks on the doors.
Okay, this is sounding kind of dangerous now.
It's a little kinky, but
yeah.
Brian, that was creepy, but what took the Fed so long to do something?
Hey, Laura, always great to be with you. Yeah, I think it's I'm in LA, it's the Hollywood celebrity path to justice, where we simply look at a clip like that and we laugh and giggle about, oh, let's get alcohol, let's get drugs, let's get all these ladies at a party. You know, for years, P. Diddy's gotten a hall pass. He's actually created his own kingdom where he makes his own rules, and you got to follow his rules or you get penalized. And guess what, Laura? He's now in a federal penitentiary, and for the first time in his life, he's facing his own fate at the hands of somebody else. And I will tell you, Laura, I've done federal cases, that's not the place you want to be in federal court. 90% of federal criminal indictments brought down are pled out, right? A plea deal is brought. And of the only 10% left, 90% of those defendants that go to trial, they lose. So he is looking at a daunting uphill battle to fight these horrible charges.
Now, Brian, one of the DHS agents involved in this raid on his Miami mansion described what he saw inside.
The consequences of this case could range from prison sentences and financial settlements to irreparable damage to the Combs family's brand. For Diddy's son, the stakes are particularly high as his future hangs in the balance. The larger picture, what this means for the industry and society. This case is emblematic of the systemic issues plaguing the entertainment industry. The allegations underscore how power and privilege can enable exploitation, creating an environment where victims often feel powerless to speak out. The victim's bravery has already inspired conversations about accountability and justice. By sharing their story, they may empower others to come forward, potentially uncovering more instances of misconduct within the industry. This moment adds to the growing list of scandals, forcing Hollywood to confront its darker side. From the Me Too movement to high-profile lawsuits, the demand for transparency and accountability is reshaping public expectations of celebrities. Whether this case leads to lasting change or fades into obscurity remains to be seen. However, its impact on public discourse is undeniable, marking another chapter in the ongoing fight for justice and equality.
We know people are depraved enough to try to get straight guys to suck their dick. We've all heard of it.
The P. Diddy quote is Jaguar Wright said this, an ex-employee of him. He goes, if you can get a man to suck you, you can do anything.
Because like someone who has that kind of money, for her, $10 million, it sounds crazy to say this, but I believe that for Beyonce and Jay-Z, $10 million is not noticeable. It's not going to change their life at all.
It won't change their life, but you still notice. Like,
I think they're billionaires, dude.
Beyonce's got almost $1 billion.
Yeah, and I think he has $1 billion as well.
Interesting.
I don't think they're going to notice. So that's like not going to change your lifestyle.
But it could get you out of your house to go do a thing that puts you in the news.
Is that what you want?
Thank you for tuning in to today's deep dive into the shocking allegations surrounding Diddy's son and the courageous testimony of a 12-year-old victim. This story highlights the courage it takes to come forward and the urgent need for accountability, no matter how powerful the individuals involved might be. We've discussed the victim's bravery, the alleged involvement of Diddy's son, and the potential legal and social fallout for the Combs family. Now we want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this unfolding drama? Do you think justice will prevail? If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more updates on stories that matter. Your support helps us continue to bring you in-depth coverage of the biggest headlines. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Stay informed and stay engaged.